So good afternoon. My name is Francisco Lugo, and I'm the current director of the Fraternity Sorority Life here at Georgia Southern University.
I am Laura Donato. I am the assistant director at Georgia Southern University.
So today we just wanted to go and do a quick live for you all to kind of do a quick introduction into our community, but also set you up for success for next week as we start our process of doing virtual SOARs. So we're going to be scheduling several live sessions so you can learn more about our community, but also ask any questions that you have regarding recruitment and how do you get involved with the fraternity sorority community here at Georgia Southern. So the way that that's going to work is that we are going to be doing three different sessions, one for parents, and then we will go into the different chapters or councils that we have to talk a little bit more specifically of what each council, each organization requirements are in order to join. So we're going to jump into the presentation and start with really the philosophy of the office. So as when we consolidated into with Armstrong State University, we basically became two campuses. They have actually Greek life on them as well. So we have two different campuses where you can be involved in. So really the philosophy for us as the office is that we believe that this sorority experience, if done right, is the best leadership experience in any college campus. And I think that the emphasis is really that when it's done right. And that's where we work as an office with different campus partners, with national headquarters, with chapter alumni, to really make sure that our community is living the values that we all have as values-based organizations. And when that doesn't happen, that's when we definitely rely on those different stakeholders to really hold our chapters accountable and address whatever situations may come our way.
Here we just have our staff. So we have Dr. Francisco Lugo, who is our director. He is at the Statesboro campus, so you'll see him there. And then I am the assistant director, and I'm primarily at the Armstrong campus. So that is where I am housed, but we go back and forth to the different campuses. So we could be there, here, whatever our students need us to be. We have Miss Wendy, who is our office administrative assistant, and then we have two graduate assistants, Zita and Mara.
So basically, these are the four core values that we have as an office and as a community. So basically, academics is very important to us, and we'll dive a little bit deeper into that as we go down the slide. Leadership development is also a key component of our core values as an office and as organizations. Brotherhood and sisterhood, and also civic engagement as the way that we do philanthropy and community service that impacts members in both the Armstrong or the Statesboro community, but also the Savannah community, but also nationwide, since some of our organizations do provide or do philanthropy events that impact national nonprofit organizations.
So here are our two communities that we've talked about. So we have our Statesboro office information, and then we have our Armstrong office information. So at our Statesboro campus, we have three governing councils: our Interfraternity Council, our NPHC Council, which is our National Panhellenic Council. There's a little bit of a typo on that screen, sorry, we will fix that. And then we have our Panhellenic Association. So in total, we have 32 chapters. 17% of the student population at Statesboro is a part of the Greek community. There are 20 fraternities and 12 sororities. At Armstrong, we have three governing councils. So we have our College Panhellenic Council, our Interfraternity Council, and our Multicultural Greek Council. Here we have 10 total chapters that make up about 5% of the total student population at Armstrong, with 4 fraternities and 6 sororities.
So basically, here at Georgia Southern University, we have several things that incoming students or any student who's interested in joining Greek life have to hit marks, I guess, to be eligible to in order to join. So one of those is really a GPA requirement. So as an incoming freshman, we will be requiring that anybody interested in coming in has a 2.75 out of high school GPA, and that is a GPA that's calculated by the Office of Admissions. So if there's any questions and concerns, we definitely encourage you all to reach out to the admissions office to really understand how grades are calculated, because typically some of these we typically have the questions about, well, that's not the grid that's reflected on my transcript. So why this is the discrepancy? So they will be able to explain that a little more than we can, because that's really their wheelhouse. So with that said, also, if you are currently a student or at least have 12 credit hours from Georgia Southern or any transfer, we will look at a 2.5 overall institutional GPA in order to join the community. So just know also that this is the university requirement, right? So the reality is that we know that some of our chapters may have higher standards when it comes to GPA. So as long as you're meeting that GPA standard, you should be able to sign up for any of our recruitment processes, part of on any of the campuses as well. We do have a admissions liaison, and her name is Aubrey. Her contact is on the slide. We're going to actually make the slide available to all of you through our Facebook page and our different accounts, so you'll be having access to this. So the other thing, as an incoming freshman, specifically for Statesboro, you need to make sure that you have completed your SOAR 1,000 prior to Friday, July 31st, in order to go through the primary recruitment for Panhellenic. That's very important, so keep that in mind. And we'll keep talking about this as we do more of these live sessions to make sure that everybody understands what that looks like. So again, if there's any questions, any concerns about the recruitment, please feel free to reach out. We'll definitely we'll address any as they come in. So again, these are the main requirements. Again, these are specifically for the university, not specific to any individual chapter that we have on either campus.
So here's kind of where, once you've gone through that recruitment phase or that initial process of interest for, or expressing interest for one of our MGC or MPHC organizations, this is what's called your new member or intake period. So all members will participate in roughly an 8-week program, which is where you're learning up to 8 weeks. Some could be less, some could be right around that 8-week mark. So this is where you're going to learn what it means to be a part of that organization. You're going to learn some of the history. You're going to learn what you need to know to be a member. So our interfraternity and our Panhellenic councils have that new member period. And so there's, again, are typically that 8-week time frame. When we go into our National Panhellenic and our Multicultural Greek council chapters, theirs is only about 4 weeks, some could be 8 weeks, and they're going to have an intake period. And so that is going to be a different process than our new members. It's a little more discreet. You are not necessarily known as a member of that organization just yet. You go through that intake process to get to that point of where you are recognized as a member. So all new members must complete your process. So be initiated and be a full member by the Sunday before finals begin. So that's typically right when the cutoff of the semester is, because we want you to be done with those studies for membership and focus in on your membership, or focus in on your activity, or focus in on your studies for finals. And the other part of what the office requires for some of that additional education, we require that all of our new members complete a hazing module. And so that is part of the membership requirement of being a new member.
So one of the things that we'll definitely want to address, and I know we've been getting a lot of questions about this since this COVID-19 came up. So right now we are working diligently with all our councils to really figure out and assess what is the best way that we will be doing recruitment or intake in the fall of 2020. So one of the things that we know and we shared with the community is that for the most part, more than likely than not, it's not going to look the same way that it's always looked, right? So we know that for a fact. So we are still navigating that space to make sure that we are providing a healthy and safe environment for not only our potential new members, but also our current members. So that's something that we will be providing updates as we get further into the summer, but also as we set dates and set, these are the parameters where or how recruitment will or intake will take place. We will be making announcements through all our social media platforms, but also through our website and through these lives as well.
And that's all we have right now for our quick introduction to our office. So here are some of our resources and how you can contact us. We do have a Facebook group for SOAR. This Facebook group will go live tomorrow, and you will be able to join that page through our Facebook, our Office of Fraternity Sorority Life Facebook. We'll have the link to that SOAR page. And so we're asking that this is for any parent or of a student that's coming in that's interested in fraternity sorority life. This is where you can join that group to get to know more about our lives and ask your questions. You may have specific questions, and I'm sure a lot of people do, and so that's where you can share that information, and we'll be able to give you an answer to that and provide you and connect you with other resources on campus.
Cool. So like Laura said, that's pretty much all we have for you today. But just know that, again, we are here to answer any questions and concerns you might have about the fraternity sorority experience here at Georgia Southern, but also make sure that if there's any questions specifically to the recruitment process or the intake process on either campus, that we'll definitely be here to address those concerns. But with that said, I appreciate the time and see you soon.